We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about itty bitty podcast. Podcast.
Merry Mini Monday, Chunkies. I'm Carter.
I'm Doge.
Jordan.
You hear that little like 80s I had in there?
Yeah.
With the podcast.
It was almost Scott Stapp.
Hey, that's
And it wasn't.
That's 2 weeks in a row though that you guys have completely nailed that.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I think we've got that famous energy in here, right? Because it's not just us in here.
Ooh.
And Adam, but I mean,
Adam's
kind of
always
always here.
here. Yeah.
Who else we got?
Who else?
Introduce yourself here.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mike Trozzo. This is a blast. I've been in the house for 8 minutes, and I'm already pretty amped up to be here with you guys. So thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We're excited about it.
So this is our long-awaited, celebrating our second birthday, like most 2-year-olds do,
terribly
by finding the most famous person they know.
By growing a shocking amount of teeth.
and doing a podcast with them. Let me tell you a little bit about Mike from my personal. Mike is a good friend of mine in Chelsea's. Chelsea actually worked for him for a while, and it wasn't. There's something about Mike when you first meet him, but then you start to find out all these other things about Mike. One of the things that we'll talk about a lot is his time in LA. And specifically on a movie that we all watched for this Mini Monday.
We did.
Which is, do we want to say it together like we do on the Tuesday episode?
That movie, of course, is called
Sky High, which was my first watch last night.
That's crazy to me, man.
We'll talk about the opinion soon. But yeah, Mike was the assistant production coordinator.
That's it.
Yeah.
Long. It's a lot of letters.
Yeah. I saw you on there with that Comic Sans font or whatever.
Yeah, it's not quite Comic Sans. It's definitely comic book.
It's comic book.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Comic Sans is very
real low
different.
budget for Sky.
It's just Arial Black.
Yeah. I was so tempted to just go back and forth on all the fonts that we know.
Helvetica, I'm out.
Yeah.
I reached the end of my list.
Wingdings. Can't forget that one. What if credits were in Wingdings? That'd be fun.
What if anything was actually in Wingdings?
Mike it's interesting. Like if you saw Mike on the street, you might think, man,
that's an average man.
No, let's take a step back. Actually,
I think there's a famous vibe about him.
It's 2 words, Carter, and those words are intimidatingly handsome.
No,
look at those.
This is like
I would say try hard. That's where I would go with that.
That'll work.
I think what's fun about Mike though is we've played the game before, like especially if you're movie buffs and you have just fun with your friends and playing the movie game of like degrees of separation. Like how many degrees of separation is this actor from this actor via movies, or how many degrees of separation are we from Taylor Lautner, which we found out wasn't much.
Not very many.
What was it,
Not
4 or 5?
Less.
I think it was
3.
4.
So the thing about
3 or
Mike
4,
is he's a degree reducer. You get to know Mike, and then now it's like when you're playing the movie game and you get to like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, now I can just branch off anywhere from here.
Wide.
I can pick up anybody and keep going. That's what Mike does for us. And so it's a big time, because I think after this podcast is done, we might be able to say that we're friends. Like there might be enough time.
I hope so.
I'd love that.
Yeah. I mean,
depending on how it goes.
It's a little longer episode than usual, so hopefully that'll get us there.
Yeah, hopefully
kind of across that
Normally
threshold.
it takes me roughly 36 minutes to be friends with someone.
You're friends with us.
Yeah. We're friends. Yeah. We walked into it. The minute I walked in, I thought this is going to be right.
Yeah. Speaking of time,
indeed.
How do you feel about the inflection of that? It felt like I naturally, from what we were just talking about, said that just now. Didn't it feel like that to you?
Yeah.
As if we've never stopped.
Can you give me another pass up on time?
Up on time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I don't even remember anything that I said.
Speaking of,
that was it.
Speaking of time. Time. Speaking of time.
There it is. Yeah, that was good.
Felt good. That one felt good. Mike, can you take a little bit of time to tell us about I didn't mean to say time this much.
It's okay.
Now it feels really corny.
My moments.
Your time in LA. Like,
sure.
So what led you?
Yeah. This is what's great about this. You said at the top of the show that you wanted to sit with somebody famous. I wanted to be someone famous.
Okay.
So I left. I graduated from Baylor, spent some time in Waco, probably 8 months, And then one of my college buddies was going to go out to act. And I'd always talked about it, but never had done it. And it was like, oh no, if he goes and I don't, I'm not going to be able to live with this.
Okay.
So I moved with him. And so he got me out there. My whole goal was really to be famous, which is, I realize, very, very trite and very short-sighted. It didn't happen. The irony that I'm here representing fame is like, it's kind of a dream come true. So
maybe
I might just kind of live into it. Yeah, I might live into it.
This is that.
What would it have happened?
Exactly. This is the fulfillment of that dream.
And I can tomorrow wake up and think, what's my next dream?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Would it make you feel good if I called you Hollywood Mike for the rest of time?
It would be too much.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's good.
I appreciate that honesty.
Because to me,
that's the guardrails
I
need.
wanted to be low key famous.
Okay.
Right. So
Still live your life on the streets of
LA. But
without
occasionally,
people bombarding you.
when not feeling good about myself, get the random stranger ego stroke, as if that would do anything. But that's what I believe.
I love this.
So I went out there. I tried to act. Had no idea who I was, much less who a character could be. Right,
Yeah.
had no concept for it. So in acting class, just lost. Just like, well, when do I just get to be me on a camera?
Was there already I'm sure a lot of it felt uncomfortable in the first place, but was there already kind of a love for movies in general?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
1990.
So you're not going out there blind. Like it's like,
No, certainly not. And I like the movie making process. 1990, went to LA, went to Universal Studios, did that tram tour.
Yeah.
cool.
And it absolutely blew my mind. I remember like the Foley show where like the guy,
cool.
they would just record this in front of you about the guy walking on gravel. And it just, it was like the first real creativity injection into my brain.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so I got to do that same tram tour this year, except not on the
I think
tram.
I'm remembering that now.
I was just back there because somebody had got me access.
Wow.
And I just
Awesome.
walked the thing. And it was like this super surreal moment. So,
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
but so I did that. I tried to act. I took improv classes. I took some comedy classes. I would sit in there and just watch how good everybody was. And it was like, this is not going anywhere.
And this isn't like your average amount of not feeling worthy to be in a position of like,
right?
yours and
it was
collective.
just
Like anybody who
oh
goes into something
my-
and feels like a fish out of water.
Right. It didn't feel like that. It
Yeah.
felt like
Felt beyond.
I am seeing excellence. And I don't have what that person has.
Is there
and that's
anybody
okay.
in any of these acting classes that went on to?
Right? One guy did a Tostitos commercial.
Okay.
Wow.
And that was all I ever saw.
The big chip bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is, okay, so you watch...
You like
okay,
know
so
exactly what he's talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scoops. The scoops. Yeah.
the Scoops guy.
He
I
was
don't
so
remember his
happy about
name.
those scoops.
Just a quick pause. I had Scoops for the first time in a long time this weekend.
Still do it for you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
not a lot of innovation in chips.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
somebody
So much
figured
dip.
that out.
Yep.
So much
It's just an
salsa.
unbelievable amount of dip.
I just was like, man, this should be somebody's proud.
With
You ever
scoops
had-
for me, if they're all full, like if I have a scoop that is not broken, so I'm not going to lose
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 12 scoops in. I'm like, is this enough? I'm not used to that with chips because of the amount it's giving me.
You're filling up on the,
I'm
You
filling
get
up.
on the
greedy.
sauce.
No, I'm like,
Okay, I'm with you. I thought you meant in the bowl
no,
of the
I'm
chip.
getting full because it's more than enough. I mean,
Okay.
it's like I'm getting 4 times the amount of food in my mouth per chip.
Sure.
The
Sure.
chip to dip ratio.
Which that's the
changed.
only downside to it to me. It's like I want, if it's chips there, it's a subconscious, consistent eating of.
I wonder if anybody's ever made a little taco bowl with scoops.
Like a tiny
I'm pretty
taco
sure
salad.
Like if they've
Bell's
done,
done that.
like if they've done like a little bit of meat, a little bit of sour cream, some cheese, lettuce, like
It
stacked
won't be
100%.
long for me to do that. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Do you ever
You're
have-
welcome. That's
do you
free.
ever have those moments where you zoom out of your body and just be like, wow, my body's talking about this right now?
Yeah.
Oh, all the
That's
chips?
right now for me. We're talking about
I heard you
Enough
laugh
of
to go
this.
right here. I'm like, we're
Enough
talking
of
about
this, and it could happen for sure.
That's true. That's fair.
Where did I left off it? Okay, so yeah, acting class. After acting class, I got a job at a restaurant called Gladstone's, seafood restaurant.
Okay.
That's when I never went on auditions. I was working at J. Crew, and then I got a job waiting tables, and then at some point, September of maybe 01, or 02, I got a job on Without a Trace, which was a CBS show.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was a PA on that show, which basically meant I was going to the grocery store a lot and running things around the city. Right? We would deliver scripts. We would deliver copies of scripts because they would change a script every day, and we'd have to go get those out. It was kind of before Uber and couriers because I'm old. Really before before iPhones. All my production experience was before an iPhone.
Find the nearest carriage driver and have him.
Yes, there was the courier business was huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Onward into the eve, I think is what they used to say.
That's what it was. Here's a lantern. And then I worked on a show called Cold Case.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Which is similar shows, like an offshoot. It was both Bruckheimer CBS shows. And then from Cold Case, that crew went on to Sky High.
Yes.
And so that's when I jumped from TV to film.
Yeah.
So this was like your first one.
It was. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And I really only worked on, I guess 3. I worked on an independent movie afterwards called Marilyn Hotchkiss Ballroom Dancing and Charm School, which is random.
Amazing.
Marissa Tomei, John Goodman.
I mean,
and
that's okay.
A slew of people. Like if you saw the cast, you'd be like, oh, I know a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then Spider-Man 3, which was the
No way.
which was the like the Green Goblin, that whole thing. And so at that point I was working for the stunt group that was on Sky
Shut
High.
up! I didn't even know this.
Yeah, so they had hired me to like build a t-shirt brand.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the Sky High is the start of my graphic design career. Because I was sitting there.
So you designed.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I wish. I wish.
So I checked out your IMDb page before we came here because had to.
Yep.
I did notice one particular title you haven't brought up yet.
Okay.
That's Freaky Friday.
I was waiting for that one
Do you
too.
want to talk about that connection a little
certainly.
bit?
This is going to be a little bit of a air out of the balloon.
Please.
So, so the Disney crew all kind of worked together, and they would bounce from these Disney films. So they all came off of Freaky Friday and went on to Sky High.
Okay.
In the process of prepping for Sky High, they had to go reshoot some. There's like a wedding scene at a Malibu house, maybe. Is it a wedding or
Freaky
a party?
Friday? Yeah, that feels right.
Okay, I don't know if it was a wedding. There was a party at a Malibu house.
There is a wedding subplot in the movie Freaky Friday.
Is there? I haven't seen this in years.
Well,
Same.
Lindsay Lohan's mom, Jamie Lee Curtis, is going to get married to that one dude. Anyway, it's a thing.
Yeah, I think so. We were back out at that house, and it was maybe 2 days. And at that point, anything you work on. Oh yeah, because I forgot. I worked on Cellular. That was like a show. Cellular, I think, is Kim Basinger and Chris Evans. We should.
You're
this
just
up.
you're
Hold
getting
on.
these no-name
This is
shows
what's
that
great.
have
Okay,
big name people.
Yeah.
I know, but at the time, it was kind of like, hey, this is a guy named Chris.
This is the guy from Not Another Teen Movie. Let's give him a show.
Yeah.
So Freaky Friday was probably 2 days, right? And it was all second unit stuff, if I remember correctly. There was no cast. It was all like we didn't get enough ambient visuals of this party.
Like pick up stuff.
Cellular was a similar deal. I think I worked 3 days as a PA, but I cued Chris Evans to run up some stairwell. So I am there on a walkie, and Chris is there for probably 2 hours just running up these steps. And then I would get on the headset, like action, and I'd give him a thumbs up, and then he'd run up the steps. I didn't realize that until after. I was like, hey, that's Captain America.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're in charge of you're Captain America.
At
Captain America.
that point, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nobody officially called me that.
Yeah.
But I certainly knew what I was doing.
I think it's one of those famous.
Because I saw it in him.
Yeah.
And I saw that he listened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Big
He didn't
time.
move until I said move.
Were you watching
Yeah.
Endgame like, he's cool, but
I mean, I told him to run up those stairs.
He couldn't have
I
done
hold
it
the
without
keys.
someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I was
Exactly.
that someone else for a beat.
Yeah.
So I guess
Surprised I didn't get cast in some of those.
what I need to know is regarding Freaky Friday, did you meet Chad Michael Murray?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you
man.
since?
No, that's somebody that would just
real
pass.
quick, if you could just plug your ears. Hey, you guys know he hasn't met Chad Michael Murray. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of a deal breaker.
We
for
asked him to come on the show, and he hasn't met Chad Michael Murray.
That's our one rule we have
That's
for
my
every
guy.
guest.
That's so funny. So you talk about so stunt crew, like you were helping coordinate, or what was the stunt role in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, it's a great question. Here is what's great about my experience. In a really quick vacuum,
Yeah.
they sound really important.
No, that's fine.
The moment you ask a second and third question,
Cool.
I'm telling you, it's gonna just it'll like the.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is on Spider-Man 3 particularly.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a stunt crew called Go Stunts, and they had this vehicle. This is actually pretty cool. They had a vehicle called the Go Mobile, which was all of the car chases. They did all the Bourne movies.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Okay.
I don't remember his name. Scott Rogers was one of the 3 partners in Go Stunts. Scott
What a great stunt name.
Scott
Rogers.
Scott Rogers.
Yeah. He's awesome. He was very, very, very good dude.
Always a little bit of dirt on his face.
Yeah,
I see him now.
he's like eternally masculine.
Yeah.
No matter how old he is, he's always 10 years older than you are.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's doing great. Family man, he's great. So,
I promise he doesn't listen to this podcast.
He'd be great. Like he'd be somebody I would love to run into.
Yeah.
So maybe Dan Bradley. If you look up Dan Bradley,
What is with these names?
His stunt
so good.
resume is absolutely off the chain. That whole jump through the window that Bourne does, I think that was all his idea. So he did all these second unit stuff. And so Scott hired me to do something for their company.
Okay.
But in what that meant was I can get you to do other things for our company.
Sure.
So many times I would drive to Hollywood because they were shooting in Sony down in Culver City. I would drive to Hollywood. I would load up my 96 Maxima with as many Red Bulls
Yes.
as you could imagine.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
And I would drive them to Culver City and unload them. And then I would just sit and watch them. And so the way those stunts work, and it's the same for Sky High, what they pioneered, I assume they pioneered because they were the only ones doing it at the time, was this winch system. Okay. So they had programmable winches. So they would have winches and pulleys. So imagine a winch that's on the front of a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they hit a button and it would pull, right? They would ratchet the winch up high. I'm sure these aren't secrets at this point.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized, it's been 20 years. There was a pulley and then another pulley, and then you would wear a harness and they'd put the 2 wires, right? And so they would spin you up, and then when they hit the button, you would spin because they would start to unwind, right? So imagine somebody grabbing your belt loop and yanking this way, right? Your body spins while you get lifted up, while you get moved over. So much of the Spider-Man 3 and Sky High stuff, the whole Royal Pain coming flying high, that was all winch work.
Right.
Well, it feels like at some point when Flash, or what's the name of the really fast kid?
That's Flash.
Yeah.
Speed.
Speed. Is that his name?
Speed.
When he is
Speed and Lash.
Yeah. So when he is just jetting by Stronghold, like the kid, and he spins.
That's winch work.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
See, I'm putting it together now. The Royal Pain flying through the air looks, in my mind, in my memory, exactly like when Harry Osborn gets knocked over the head in Spider-Man 3 and kind of flips through when he hits the pipe. That's crazy.
Yeah, and part of the reason I wanted to talk more about the stunts is as I'm watching Sky High for the first time, 2005, right?
Yes.
2005 movie. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm kind of impressed by the stunt sequences and some of the CGI.
Okay, hold on. Before we get too far into Sky High, you've got something planned here that I want to make sure we get to.
Do you want to do that first?
And then I'd love to just tackle Sky High and everything else
Let's spend the rest of our time in Sky High.
So it wouldn't be Mini Monday without some bits, right?
True.
And so we got one called Rank You Very Much. Very often I will give my co-hosts about a minute. Last week, it was a spooky week.
It was
actually,
we did very bad
just
at
yesterday. No, you did good. We were trying to guess. They were trying to guess what the top 30 highest grossing horror movies of all time were.
Okay.
We didn't get very many of them.
And then they've got their minute to go through and try and get all that stuff. But for this, though, I want you to create our list. It's going to be a little bit more organic. And so not necessarily someone you've seen on the street in LA, because I'd imagine at Hollywood, you might have handed a Red Bull to De Niro for all I know. But this wouldn't count for this rank. So what I need from you who are some people that you've had a conversation with since you were down there?
Yeah.
Because I know it's just saturated with those opportunities, especially if you're on set somewhere.
Yeah.
Or that you've hung out with for a while. If you can just pop off some of those, and then we will rank them for you in terms of their impressiveness. This might have been something you've wondered before, but we'll do that.
How many do you want? And I don't mean that cocky. I just mean in general. No. I'm trying to think.
We will
where should
give
I start?
you minute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's give you.
Some of these are. I'll just roll through them. Do you want me just names, or do you want me to try to tell a mini story?
Let's start with names.
Let's start with names.
Okay.
And then we'll mark if we want a mini story from it.
Perfect. Okay.
And go.
So recently, Channing Tatum, he introduced himself as Chan. I have distinct memories of talking with Kurt Russell because of Sky High.
I love him so much.
Ted Danson, because of Mary Steenburgen was on Marilyn Hotchkiss. John Goodman.
Oh my gosh.
Triple digit. Tim Matheson. I'm a huge Fletch fan, like a top 5 all time. The Attorney, who garnishes his wages. That whole bit, if you've ever seen Fletch, that was I saw him walking out of the Rose Bowl. Chat with him in line, like walking.
Wow.
Let's think who else. Yikes. Might have gotten to the end quick there.
It's a good list.
That is a good list.
What is the Rufio connection?
Oh, yeah. Rufio. So I'm on the board of a nonprofit. And that nonprofit we host a gala. We will raise almost $1 million for the nonprofit. And Rufio was one of he introduced one of the honorees at the gala.
Cool.
And I was like the co-chair of the gala.
And you have his number though.
I don't anymore.
Oh, man.
I don't anymore. I probably have his email.
I mean, he's not the guy
It's
anymore.
just as good.
Yeah.
Peter came
But he
in
got
and-
chanted Rufio at the gala. Which was,
that's
I
amazing.
think
Yeah.
he's okay with that. You got to be okay with that.
I think
Yeah,
he knows
wonder if
why he's there. At the end of the
Come
day,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rufio's got to be a fun claim to fame.
Okay, well, this is good.
Oh,
And-
and I did mini chat with DiCaprio at an ice cream place.
We're going to
Stop,
count that.
dude.
We're going to count that.
With
we didn't
Leo?
hang out. None of these people said, "Hey, let's go grab a drink."
Right.
Oh, and then what's
Ice cream's close.
If you wait long enough.
Tony Hale. Tony Hale.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
Buster.
Tony Hale.
Yeah, Tony Hale's a good friend of a really good friend, and I ran it name grabbed or name dropped.
Yeah.
Name dropped.
Yeah,
Either way.
that's good stuff.
Okay, so we've got 8 names here. This is good. This is something we can work with.
Oh, definitely.
Mike, your work is done. This is all about us now. Welcome to 2 Chunks. It's not 2 Chunks and a hunk of Mike. JK, I got really, because I'm so much more famous now from knowing him.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm starting to deal with, So we've got Channing Tatum, Kurt Russell, which by the way, if we were to give a super pump to Sky High, I'll do it now since his name got brought up. Kurt Russell.
It's Kurt, 100%.
What a charming,
Kurt Russell is
perfectly,
also
what a
my super
perfect
pump.
casting.
What a great Superman-like superhero.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
And there was a moment where I was like, wait, is he putting on a little bit like just to, or is this just how Kurt Russell talks?
That's a good
I'm just
question.
realizing he fell into something. that
There are
was-
so many moments in the movie where his inflection is, out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it.
Yeah, very much.
From start to finish.
Ted Danson, John Goodman, Tim Matheson, Rufio. We'll call him Rufio. DiCaprio, Leo DiCaprio, Tony Hale.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Goodman carries a little more weight for me personally because of how much he's come up with our Disney series.
Sure.
And just my
Okay.
general love for him.
Okay.
If you've been more than one Disney character, you're a double dizzer. But we found out Goodman is somewhere around the quadruples, right?
Goodman is
quadruple
at least
dizzer.
a quadruple
He
dizzer.
was Princess and the Frog.
if
the
not
dad.
potentially a quintuple dizzer.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he was very many.
He's
I
a
mean,
big
I
deal.
can think of Princess and the Frog. He was
Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. He was Sully. He was Baloo in the Jungle Book 2.
So we got one more.
That's at least 4.
He's
Yeah.
got to do one more.
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
So-
I think Goodman.
Are you suggesting taking Goodman off the list because he's too big?
No, I think the
Okay.
point is who's the biggest.
Who's the
we start at
biggest?
the top.
It's Leo.
It's DiCaprio.
It is
definitely
Leo.
DiCaprio.
It's DiCaprio and
It
then
might not have
Goodman.
been if he hadn't finally won his Oscar.
That's
I'm
ridiculous.
kidding.
It's unequivocally
Yeah, you're wild.
Leo.
Yeah,
You're
for
wild
sure.
right now.
So, and then what do we do though? Because we've got Tatum, Matheson. I personally don't know Tim Matheson very well.
I don't think I do either.
I also-
As you were talking, I felt guilty about it because you clearly love him so much.
All Fletch.
I think Tony Hill is going to be
Tony Hale's probably
Really high
number
for
3
me.
or 4 for me.
I feel like the Chan Man's gotta be number 3.
the
right?
Tatum Tot, number 3.
Tatum Todd. So is Goodman number 2 or Kurt Russell?
Oh
no.
Hold on now.
Okay, here we go. Let's try this on for size.
Because they're
We've
both
got
similar in terms of like
Leo
they're
number one.
probably the
we
same
got
age.
we got DeCap at the top.
I'm gonna
We
go
got
Goodman.
Goodman. We got Russell.
Russell 3.
We
Tatum
got
4.
Tatum. We got Hale.
Okay. And then
Who's
there's 3
left?
more. So Rufio, Ted Danson, Tim Matheson.
It's Ted Danson next.
Okay, I
Yeah.
would say the same. And then Rufio,
And then Rufio.
and then Tim Matheson.
And then Matheson.
Yeah.
Consider them ranked.
Certainly.
Consider them
I'll rank
ranked.
you very much.
And
That
now
is so fun.
2 Chunks and a Hunk fulfilling another dream. If you ever wonder who is the famousest that you've met, now we have a ranked list for you.
Yeah.
And that's why we
Much
started this
obliged.
podcast, I think, is to make people's dreams come
That's
true.
all we want to do is make everybody's dreams come true. We're
That's
like
our
Hall and
gift
Oates
to
in that
you.
way.
We really are.
Man. So is it time for Sky
It's
High?
time for Sky High.
it is.
And the first thing I want to say about the movie, since we're not going to go and talk about it in depth necessarily
sure.
from a movie perspective, guys, I loved it so much.
It's really good.
I was surprised by a first time watch. I'm glad that I watched it organically and still enjoyed
Yeah.
it that much.
You did
I
like it.
So Chelsea took me through but this was in theaters, right? I mean, this was released in
Oh,
the theaters.
yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah.
not you can tell by the by the effects and the budget
and the Kurt Russell of it all.
The Kurt Russell of it all. But I did not grow up on Disney. We just didn't have Disney when I was growing up.
Right.
So when we had the opportunity to DVR,
Mouse hadn't made it to Lampasas yet. You guys didn't know about that stuff yet?
No, he just went right on through.
What do you hear about Snow White, man? It's pretty wild.
Oh my gosh. So not on the Disney Channel. I've corrected myself.
Fair.
But then we got Disney when I grew older, but now we have it on our streaming service. We can just hit a button and DVR.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. So Disney had recently done about 2 years ago, all of their made for like Disney originals. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
DComs,
Disney Channel original
baby.
movies.
Disney Channel original movies. And I watched maybe 15 of them.
Yeah.
And they're all
Chelsea,
perfect.
amazing.
And there's some charmingness to them and I love them and stuff, but Sky High was more than that. I'm just saying that's what I expected.
So you were curious that it
when
was
I
a
came
decom.
in, I knew it was in theaters, but I was like,
Okay.
I knew I would enjoy it. I did not know I would enjoy it.
It feels a little to me like the big brother that the DComs want to be. Like this feels like
I hear that.
Like up and away on its very
Yes.
best day could be Sky High.
There's a certain Harry Potterness to it.
Yeah.
The idea of secret society, school that these like talented teens go to.
Also, hey, something that I've been saying, I've been streaming for a long time, My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I thought about that.
100% like that anime show.
And I think there is a charm that comes with buying into a concept when making a movie. I think there's a certain amount of charm when a movie doesn't come across like it's apologizing for being dorky and instead just steers into the skid and is full dork.
And as we were watching, I had a few surprises. Like, so Nicholas Braun, I also happened to be watching Succession, which is a completely different vibe from Sky High.
Certainly.
But he is Zach. He is
Zack Attack.
Yeah, Zack Attack. And I lolled often. I think the writing was really good.
I agree. He was so funny. Did you get to interact with him much?
I did, and this kid would always come into the production office. Right, he was super friendly, and I did not put this together.
Feels tall. Feels about a foot taller than the rest of the kids in high school.
Which is a foot and a half taller than me, and so. But he was always very friendly, and almost like the character in Sky High is a lot of his personality.
Cool.
Wow.
I watched it also again recently for the first time in a long time and did not put the Succession thing together.
Because you've watched Succession.
Because I've watched Succession.
Yeah.
I like Succession. And all of a sudden
And he's
clicked.
one of my favorite characters.
He's a prominent character and it did not even, he's got the different color hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait. It blew my mind.
Yeah. When I was diving into that, I was reading some of his, whatever his biography that people will write for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they credit Sky High to kind of starting his career.
Unbelievable.
Because it was
right?
just this kid with a ton of personality that kind of fit a mold for just kind of this character actor.
Yeah.
And so they're like,
I
let's do
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
So I
he
thought that
great.
was cool. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, no idea she was in this movie. Obviously, I'd
Yeah.
never seen it before.
I've never seen her be bad. She is always so good in everything she does.
yeah.
Sorry, not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
But she just is consistently, and this is a perfect example. This is a movie that to me walks a thin line that could have gone very, very poorly if they had not
Had Mike.
Well,
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Thank y'all.
But there's a danger of cheese, right?
Yeah.
And there's some necessary cheese. Like
Exactly.
It's supposed to be there. But we
And
That's
talked
the
about
thing.
before.
Like, I
She's
think
just so
tonally,
good
this
here.
is so Silver Age. Like, this is so like
Definitely.
like 60s Jack Kirby, Fantastic Four. Like, this is so classical superhero.
Absolutely.
And I think it absolutely nails that tone.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
aware of itself.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It
A
is
few
self-aware.
other fun ones. Principal Powers is Linda Carter, who
Yeah,
even makes
obviously.
the reference at the end that I'm not
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman.
Hey,
Yes,
here we
you
go.
are.
Maybe a spicy take. My super dump has got to be Mrs. Stronghold. Josie?
Wait, really?
That should have been Linda Carter.
That would have been pretty great.
I think that should have been Linda Carter.
Gotcha, Kelly instead of Kelly Preston.
Yeah.
She was so good, though.
She was okay to me.
Shut your mouth.
I
And
know,
then,
Mike, I know y'all are very close
Yeah, y'all are
friends.
good friends.
We still keep in touch.
Yeah, so
Mike
just
doesn't
don't tell her
talk
I
for the
said
rest
that.
of the podcast. And then another fun was Jim Rash.
Oh
Who
my
played Mr.
gosh.
Grayson.
Yep.
Did you have any interactions with this guy? He feels like one of the funniest, quirkiest people.
Yeah, and actually rewatching the movie, I like a lot of the stuff it comes back, right? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
like Nick Braun, going back to Nick, I would have said hi to Nick if I saw Nick in public. Right. Some of the other people I would not have been like, hey, I worked on that movie that you were in.
Yeah.
Right.
But Nick, it would have been like, Nick, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
what, that's
Cool.
what,
Yeah.
and I think Jim always would come in, hang out and crack everybody up. He's not in the movie a ton.
No.
Yeah.
So in terms of production
And
days,
you don't even really know, like he's not recognizable until
Sure.
all
Oh my gosh.
the movies.
He's
end.
barely
Yeah.
recognizable
He's
when
barely
he's
in
a
it.
human character.
Yeah.
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 yeah,
Because this was pre-Community, yeah?
Yeah, have you
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Community, Mike?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it weird to you to see him in that type of role, or does that fit everything you know about this man?
No, yeah, it was not weird. It was
Okay,
enjoyable.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Super enjoyable. Yeah. And so he's in that I guess he's only dad, that one dad shot where he's at the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you the guy with 6 arms?
Yeah, which is
There's a great line.
Those lines. That's what I didn't remember. And maybe I was 24 and I think how old I was. I was 27.
Yeah.
I probably should have caught that at that point.
These guys' age. Jordan and Dozier are about that age, yeah?
Yeah.
currently.
Currently.
Okay.
Currently.
Yeah. So, and so I there were a lot of jokes, even the whole like, but you will, like it's just how ridiculous
Yes.
some
Yeah.
of Stronghold's lines were.
Oh my gosh.
They made me laugh more now than I think then.
It's such a strength of the movie, I think.
Correct.
Is that goofiness that it's willing to dive into. And it's not so self-serious. I keep coming back to self-aware was the perfect way of putting it. It's not self-serious, but it's also not, we can only make jokes because we can't get, like it was just, it rode that line so perfectly.
Our science teacher, who was the guy with the basically Megamind?
He plays Pleakley in Lilo and Stitch.
Sure does,
And
yeah.
his name completely escapes
Those
me.
two they were like he was given the screen for not very long with the guy who plays Mr. Boy.
Dave Foley, who is Flick from A Bug's Life. So they were together in Kids in the Hall. That's why they get screen time together so much, is because they were
fun.
Kids in the Hall co-stars. So that's why their scene making fun of the Save the Citizen is so perfect, because they're just kind of
that's
riffing
so
together,
good.
it seems like.
And that was Kevin McDonald. I've got a cast list, in my hand because I have
looking at it.
a rap book. So I'm flipping through this.
Yeah, it's probably time that we address the binder.
Yeah.
We haven't even
The-
talked about
Did you
that on
talk
air
about
yet.
the
Yeah,
rap book a
certainly.
little bit?
I'm a pack rat with souvenirs.
Good.
So
I mean, you gotta be. You also you still have the piece of the floor as well?
I still have a chunk of the gym floor.
Oh,
amazing.
man.
That's very cool.
Will punches to trip up Speed.
Yes.
I'm not confident that character's name is Speed, but we're going
I'm
to keep
almost
addressing him
positive it
as
is.
such.
Speed and Lash.
We're gonna find that.
We can find
We'll
it in
find
the
out.
official
We have
documentation
the
right here.
Sky High
And what's
Bible.
weird is like I can tell you their
Speed.
address. Okay.
It's Speed.
Yeah, I'm looking at a document and it's like this has got home addresses on it. Like this is not public information.
I can't stress enough how much I'm not looking
Thank
at the
you.
home addresses.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
weird. There's little pockets for the blood.
Oh yeah. All
a piece of Kurt Russell's hair.
Yeah, exactly. So the binder is a wrap book. And this was once the show wraps and basically goes into post, the production office has the length of time that it's in post to sort of wind everything down. So you document where everything is. And so even in here is where all the props are stored, where the backdrops are stored.
You were able to show Jordan one of his favorite props, which was the freeze ray.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
And
so
that was
glad
the-
you liked it too.
That was the thing about this movie that like when I rewatched it, it was like all of these memories about the props. The props were incredible. That big eyeball.
Yeah.
We used
So
to carry it
good.
around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I saw them all again. And it was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I love these props. That guy killed it. The prop master.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know his name,
I bet it's in there.
but it's in
somewhere.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's in the
Prop
book. We
blasting
find it.
master.
We could probably find it and we could call him.
We could order him a pizza.
Yeah.
To say
we could
thank
actually
you.
deliver and say, hey, we were talking about the props and Rick, you're getting a pizza.
You
for it.
deserve a pizza.
So I'm just putting this together. We could, based on the information in that rap book, order a pizza to Kurt Russell's house from Two Chunks and a Hunk, the podcast.
Assuming he hasn't moved since 2005,
Well, I know lots of people that
or
have moved since
probably more
2005,
accurately
so
2003-ish.
We'll see.
That's true.
And here's what's great about the tiers in Hollywood. So this confidential cast list does exclude Kelly and Kurt.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. So that they had deemed potentially too confidential,
Too
be in the
famous.
rap book.
Wow.
But I did have to
Yes.
deliver scripts to the Travolta Preston house. Like I do remember that because
It's
we would have
Travolta
PAs.
she's married to.
Yeah,
Or-
we had, and I don't know if they still are, but
Yeah.
there were PAs that would do this, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take that one."
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly.
I want to go see
Absolutely.
where that
Let me
house
go.
is.
I'll go check out Johnny T's home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is awesome. Wow.
Well, that's awesome. So I just a few more questions just about your experience on
Sure.
set. But was there Is there any specific moment that stands out to you? It doesn't have to be like a star-struck kind of moment. It can just be like what felt special.
Personal.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything.
That's a good question.
Did you get to pet the guinea pig?
No.
Oh.
No.
That makes sense. It didn't make it on the list for rank you for.
She's right. Yeah, right.
Magenta.
Yeah. And that's an actor. So that's not a guinea pig.
Oh my God.
That's expensive. But, that's, you know, there are moments, production crews feel like family. And so
that's cool.
There are moments, there are random moments where we're together working on something really late that I sort of cherish, where somebody will finally solve a problem that's on our team. And I don't even remember what the problem was. I just remember us up there ordering pizza one night, super late. I also remember like Jeff Kent's Game 5 home run was on a TV over here.
How fun is that?
Wow.
During maybe the 2005 in LCS.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that I was always in charge of was portable air conditioning. Like that gym was so hot. There's so many big 10K lights.
Yeah.
And so I was always up there on the weekend trying to get more air in, which is so random. And then there was a moment where one of the actors, the kid actors, left a CD in their dressing room after they wrapped.
Uh-huh.
And the song was so raunchy that our production office, my boss, Erin Kaufman, I had never seen her crack and laugh so much. It was the most magical, like euphoric moment where we would just go get somebody from another department. Because the production office, it's like props is in one office, locations, wardrobe, hair, makeup. They all have these little offices when they're not on set. And we just would say, you got to come hear this song. And it was maybe an hour 15 of just like people just jaws drop. I should try to find the song.
That's phenomenal.
But it was
so
spectacular.
good.
Yeah,
that's so
I love that.
Yeah. So those are the moments that I remember more so than like I remember we needed to get a bag of frozen peas for Kelly Preston. So somebody had to go get a bag of frozen peas.
She get like a black eye or something?
I never asked.
Okay, fair.
She was never
very
asked.
hungry.
That's
But
probably
there was
a good skill.
theory. There was a theory, and we'll take it off the air.
Yeah.
Sure, certainly.
Yeah.
So do you remember which kid actor it was with the raunchy CD? Because it feels like a Danielle Panabaker move to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Panabaker, her family was the nicest family too. They would always come up.
I
her mom was always
100%
up there,
buy that.
right?
That's why I think
Yeah.
her mixtape was so nasty.
Yeah. I don't remember whose it was.
Okay, fair.
I don't remember whose it was.
Fair enough.
But one thing that's random also about this movie, because maybe this is how this movie has sort of added weird moments in my life. People that I work with now are younger, and this was their kids' movie, right? And so they would talk about it like it was not a big theatrical release. It was not a successful film. They were going to make multiple movies, and didn't happen. But it did touch people, right? And so those moments were happening. And then is it Penny who multiplies herself?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually twins, right?
It's twins.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So there were two Pennies. And then one of the stunt doubles, okay, this is maybe in 2015 that I found out, was a good friend of mine. So I had become friends with my friend Nicole. And some point she's like, you worked on Sky High? She was like, I was one of Penny's doubles. So the scene where they were all hanging from the vines, Nicole was there in that cafeteria, which was...
What on earth?
That's wild.
Actually, that effect was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
Looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
held
so
up.
much of it was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad. Like, I think this is something that we haven't normally had on this podcast. I mean, it's obviously
Certainly.
someone who's as close and it's that personal and it's that intimate with a movie. Sometimes we like to think that we're kind of getting critically like intimate, like getting to know these movies, or if it's a special series that we like a lot, especially with Star Wars right now that we're going through.
Yeah. Right.
And the encyclopedia, the Wikipedia that is Doge, which I respect Wikipedia more than Wikipedia.
Good.
That's good.
But
It's far more academic.
I think that's just been really awesome to hear. I think it's fun to share those moments
Yeah.
Well,
that you just get to have with the movie business.
So Sky High to me is a movie that has the memory associated with it of road trips, because it was my family had just bought a like Honda Odyssey with the built-in DVD player and the flip down screen in the back. And I was still young enough at the time that had come out that was appealing to me, was to watch movie in the backseat on like a long road trip.
Oh
and
yeah,
it was
that's a big deal.
It was Sky High, Emperor's New Groove, and like one other that my parents would say, let's put the audio through the whole car because they thought it was funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They weren't annoyed by it. Everything else, it was, hey, put the headphones on.
Yeah.
But for those movies, it was, hey, let's put the audio through the whole car. And so it's really cool to be able to hear from you and your perspective about, what things looked like from your side. That's
super,
awesome.
super interesting.
Yeah. A couple questions before we wrap up. One question is, we bring up Disney Plus a lot on this podcast.
We do.
And this was a Disney film, Sky High. I think it's going to be on the platform. Disney Plus.
Actually, it's
Is it not?
It's
not?
It's excluded from Disney Plus. Yeah.
Why on earth?
Which is
Why?
a huge bummer. I think it's excluded, which kind of shoots down a hope that I've had for a Sky High limited TV series on Disney Plus.
There's a planned sequel and TV show from what I read.
That would be
didn't see that
amazing.
part.
That like a limited series like this, like Sky, like new characters,
Well,
whatever.
especially now
but
with,
same,
with the budget that TV shows have.
Sure.
Exactly,
They can
yeah.
do this. They can definitely
Come
do
on.
that. Are you going to get Disney Plus? Are you going to be a Disney Plus guy?
I think that I'll do anything like this for a little bit, right? I
Yeah,
don't.
sure.
I'll go in spurts with TV,
Yeah.
and so I can't watch every night. But I don't. It's not very expensive.
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
very
$5,
affordable.
$6 a month, 5 or
yeah.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. Worth a try.
Will ESPN be part of it?
If you did not already have ESPN, there is a bundle for ESPN
Okay.
Plus,
Got it.
but it's going to probably have some of the like ESPN
Yeah.
30 for 30s. I bet it has
Yeah,
most of those.
documentaries is what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
And like full disclosure, so for my Disney, I saw Up and I saw Toy Story 3. Okay. And I don't know what years these movies came out. But both of those movies were so much crying
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I stopped going to Disney movies. I just thought this
That's
is
fair.
an absolute haymaker for me
Yeah.
to
Yes.
walk in this theater.
Sure. They've got it
And I got to work through that.
Yeah.
Because
You've
that's
got
not
some-
their fault.
I've got daddy issues. You've got Disney issues.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
bring our
Yeah.
own things to the table.
Yeah.
So
and
I
then-
haven't seen Coco. I haven't seen
Dude, you're going to,
Moana.
you don't want to
That's what I mean. So I think I'm
Coco
going to
is
go.
so much
Yeah.
crying.
And now I'm okay to cry, right?
Yeah.
And so
Good.
now I can say I'm going to get the $6. I'm going to turn all the lights out. and
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
You're
have a good
emotionally
cry.
ready for Coco.
I'm emotionally ready for Coco.
Okay.
Exactly.
So like on the topic a little bit of seeing movies, like what you would go see in theaters and stuff. We do, we'll finish on this bit because I'd love for him to join us in this. Movie guy. Let's do a little bit of yes or pass.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
Yes, meaning we're going to go through some movies that'll be coming out within the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's a yes if we're willing to go see it in theaters.
Okay.
It's a pass if not.
Okay.
Let's touch on a few of these. There's actually a lot for November 6th and November 8th. So like early November movies. I remember we're kind of it's like the horror season, also the Oscar movie
Yeah.
season.
Right.
So maybe not as recognizable. These are the movies that kind of have a resurgence in January because they got awards or they're have award buzz.
Nominated.
And
Yeah.
so go to me third
Okay.
because
That's fine. It's a
some of the-
collective.
and you're going to say all at once.
No, it's gonna be like I'll say a movie and then you just chime in whenever.
Just feel how you feel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I might
and if
not
we-
know some of
and,
these.
and I'll be able to synopsize a little bit.
That's what I
if
need.
we need to know that.
That's what I need.
Doctor Sleep, which is supposedly the sequel to The Shining.
Right.
Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson. I know for sure Doge won't be there
Right.
because he said on our last episode he does not see horror movies in theaters.
This is a big old pass for me. I'm gonna watch it. I will not go see this in a theater.
So there's a poster in here that had inspired some artwork from Doge for Two Chunks and a Hunk.
yeah.
That it's like top 100 movies to go see. It's a scratch off thing. I have not scratched off The Shining. I have never even seen
Oh,
The
Carter.
Shining. Can you believe that?
Hey, I haven't either.
Hey, I haven't either.
That's
What?
crazy.
Wait, time out. Can I host y'all? Will y'all come over and watch this movie? Because this is a definite yes for me. Is that's the word?
Yeah.
Okay, it is.
Okay.
If y'all want
Dr.
to
Sleep?
do that, I would love to have y'all watch that. Like, come over, watch
Watch
that
The
movie.
Shining?
Yeah, it'd be
That
amazing.
would be
do it.
awesome.
I'm 100% in.
Because last year I did a Stephen King. I just got into Stephen King for the first time. Read almost 20 of his novels in 2018, and The Shining was one of my favorites. And I want to watch the movie so
Yeah.
bad.
That's a no-brainer.
I wasn't originally going to mention this movie, but then I looked at the cast and I saw at least one preview. It's interesting to always see if a movie's got a ton of really A, B list actors, but they don't seem to be spending a lot of money on like advertising it. But have y'all heard of Midway?
Yes.
So this is U.S. soldiers and pilots changed the course of World War II during the Battle of Midway. So we've got Ed Skrein. How would you pronounce that?
Skrein.
Patrick Wilson, Luke Evans, Aaron Eckhart, Nick Jonas, Mandy Moore,
Yes,
Dennis
dude.
Quaid, Woody Harrelson.
It shot
What
to
a
look
weird
like one
cast.
take like Birdman was.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And that's crazy for a war movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably won't because I tend to, as we get into more of a season that I'm probably going to see
Get
more
really
movies.
picky.
Yeah, I get a little more picky because
Yeah.
it's not something I can really do more than once a week. So it's a pass for me, but it's close. I mean, I'm going to want to see this
It's a
movie
pass for me. This is one of those ones that, like, if I heard that it was nominated for some awards, I would absolutely
Probably check
rent
it
this
out.
one digitally.
Yeah. I think it's a pass for me with, what do we call it last or 2 weeks ago? A Yasterisk.
Yeah.
It's a pass for me with a Yasterisk because it's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing I think I'd be very into.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about it and haven't heard enough about it to justify spending the, $12 for
Sure.
a draft house ticket.
Yeah.
And I would say pass as well. I feel like when I see the trailer, it feels like a little bit of a celebration of war movies, not necessarily about the story.
Interesting.
And I have what I would want to do if I had time was to make a violence as a percentage of the film, like violence and fighting, like Batman vs Superman, right? Is like 70% fighting.
Yeah.
If I got to get a score on that, then I would know if I'm going to enjoy the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Like if it's over 30%, just count me out.
It's
Not
just
so much.
boring.
Yeah.
This feels like it's going to be 75.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get that vibe. Any Andy Fickman fans out there? He's the director that did movies like Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, Paul Blart 2,
Okay.
Race to Witch Mountain.
What's Kevin James doing right now?
She's the Man.
Was it Paul Blart 1 or 2?
2.
Oh,
Not so much.
no.
Hey, time out because She's the Man is great though.
She's the Man is great.
with your boy Channing T.
He's got a movie coming out directing Playing with Fire. When
the
straight-laced
John
fire
Cena movie.
Yeah. John Cena, Keegan-Michael Key, John Leguizamo. I get worried when I see things like, so there's going to be we've got a duo here that was famous for a comedy sketch show. Somebody's winning right now, right? If
Yeah.
you've got one
Yeah.
directing the new era of horror movies and one that is in a fire movie, a firefighter movie with John Cena.
And
I love Keegan-Michael Key. He's doing other big things.
I love him very much.
And truly ads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great.
But you know what this movie reminds me of? RV with Robin Williams. That's the vibe I'm getting from.
I love RV so much.
I'm going to push back. I was just going to push back. Yeah.
That's not what I expected. 2 more movies and then we'll be done.
Okay.
Honey Boy. Have y'all heard of this?
No.
So there's going to be, I'm not predicting it. I am piggybacking off early predictions. Shia LaBeouf
Oh, I love him. I love him.
is about to, I think he's going to actually get to a legitimate level of being
Yeah.
considered as like, oh, this guy should get nominated for an Oscar. He's got
Already
2
was there
big
in my
things that are
heart.
coming out this year. And one of them is Honey Boy, which is kind of a creative autobiography of his in a movie.
Okay.
That is getting unbelievable buzz right now.
Interesting.
Okay.
Peanut Butter Falcon did well.
Yeah,
People
it
talked
did
about
really
that
well.
movie for a
So
while.
it's, again, in this season, it's not a yes for me. It's a pass.
Yeah.
But I am getting more and more intrigued with one of the more intriguing people in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shia
I think
LaBeouf.
it's a pass for me as well, with a similar level of intrigue sort of tacked on the end there.
Yeah.
It's a pass for me, but I'm very, very much going to watch this at my house.
In my own home.
When it's
I've
available
seen a
digitally.
trend here. You have a higher bar for the theater.
I do, yeah,
Yeah.
because I have to make theater is something that's not just the movie itself; it's the experience.
Sure,
and
sure.
it's like
Yeah,
I
I
won't go
agree.
see this in the theater because I don't think that it's going
It's
to
going
be
to add anything.
exactly. I don't think it's
Okay.
going to be a solid enough foundation
Or
for the
if
whole
the theater were
experience.
Spooky.
If the theater were free,
Oh yeah,
I'd watch every movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's the financial.
It is, yeah.
and I respect that.
And then finally, I want to read a synopsis for you. And then I want to tell you who you think would be perfect to play the lead actor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. This is coming out. It's called Primal, November 8th.
Okay.
Hunter and Collector, because those are 2 different things.
Yeah,
Hunter and Collector.
not a hunter gatherer.
No.
They're
No.
a collector. They're very
This person
choosy.
does both of them.
He does.
He puts them in a glass case.
Hunter and Collector. No, he's like, I shoot tigers, but I like old pennies.
Yeah.
I love stamps.
Big
love stamps.
big stamp guy. Like, just get me to let me just grind it out.
Can't get enough of those stamps.
Hunter and collector Frank Walsh expects a big payday after bagging a priceless white Jaguar. Oh, I didn't mean to say it like a commercial.
No, that's perfect.
Jaguar for a zoo. It just says for a zoo. Some zoo was like, hey,
A zoo.
But the ship bearing Frank's precious cargo has another predator.
Yep.
A political assassin facing extradition to America. So when the prisoner manages to break free, Walsh must utilize his expert skills to capture the dangerous killer, not dead, but alive, which is hard for hunters, right? Who do you think would be perfect for a role like this in a movie like this?
Got it.
Mike, you thinking of one too?
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
It doesn't have to be simultaneous.
This to me feels explicitly Nicolas Cage.
Let me first say, has anybody looked at?
No.
Okay.
No.
This feels so Nicolas Cage to me.
I'm on the exact same brain level as you. I was also going to say Nick Cage.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mike?
It's not Jim Rash. But no, I don't have anybody.
I need to tell you, this is a Nicolas Cage. That's why I read it.
Yes, this is
when I read the synopsis, I was like, Nick is putting out for this movie.
This is
absolutely going to make this movie.
Nicolas Cage
Did he
energy.
write it?
I can't stress enough how honest I'm being. I have not heard of this movie.
No.
I haven't looked at this movie.
You're shocked. I wish this was for Mike's attractiveness and your reaction. I wish we were back on YouTube for this one.
That would feel good.
Here's the thing. It's the guy who's done a Nick Cage movie before that got 5% on the tomato meter.
Yep.
Outcast. If you ever saw that, probably didn't. Fugitive Chinese prince and his sister enlist the aid of a two-war weary crusader to help them defeat their older brother who murdered their father and seize the throne.
I don't think this is spicy, but when Nicolas Cage is utilized well, I really like him.
No, yeah,
he's
that's not
great.
spicy at all. Things like Mandy, things like the
Dude,
like
National
Lovecraft movie that
Treasure
he did.
is great.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
favorite rom-coms ever is Moonstruck, and he's got a role in that is incredibly charming, actually. Like one of his first big roles with, and it was with Cher of all people.
Sure, you just end up
I think
with
he's
some
a-
crazy Nick Cage too.
He's a
sellout. I mean, he does
he
anything.
really is.
True.
He does anything.
He was
Just
almost
to
Superman.
point him in the right direction. Like he was great in Spider-Verse and terrible
Oh my
in
gosh,
most
he
other
was
things.
so good in
Yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. So Primal. If I had the right amount of people, if I had the right people, which is basically the people at this table,
Sure.
that all said it's in the schedule, we can totally do this. Let's find it and go see it. I would
Yes,
do it.
absolutely.
One of my favorite things to do is watch B movies.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and to be
Get a
able
little
to do
turnt.
that with one of the kings of a high budget B movie,
Oh my gosh.
What is
Yeah.
the budget? Do we know?
$4.
I can look at that.
$17.
It's just a Chili's
It's a lot of favors.
coupon.
Turned in a lot of
He's
favors.
just hunting Beanie Babies most of the time.
Yeah.
It's a gift card to an airport for TGI Fridays.
Yep.
I will say too, it's also rated R for violence and language. So can't take the kids to Primal, everybody. I'm sorry about that.
You shouldn't have thought through that. Yeah, you should have known that.
Yeah.
It's not called Huggable. I'll
What
tell you
is the
that.
last Nick Cage movie you should take the kids to? It's been a
Con
while.
I'll go with
I guess
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's a
I'll
good
go with
point.
We'll go
That's a good point.
Spider-Verse.
And before that, it's National Treasure. Not 2. Book of Secrets got a little wild, but
What year was National Treasure? 12?
feels no.
No,
don't
I think it was
so.
probably
I'm gonna say 3.
7.
07.
Oh, 7?
Probably.
I'm going with
It's been
3.
That long. Oh, 3.
I'm not seeing the budget on this one, guys. So
It was
who
free.
knows?
He did it for
In
free.
this budget. So it's going to be amazing. But
Ooh, okay. National Treasure, 2004.
Oh,
Wow.
Book of Secrets was.
It's got to be 3
Book
or
of
4 years
Secrets.
later.
Hang on, I know this is a weird story about me. Book of Secrets was the same year that I Am Legend came out because my dad saw I Am Legend on a business trip and really liked it, and I wanted to see it. And the last minute, got too scared. I chickened out, and we watched
Bought
National
tickets to
Treasure
Book of
2.
Secrets.
Amazing.
So what year would that be? Doge.
2007.
Bingo. He got it.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yep.
that's amazing.
Fantastic.
You got scared of I Am Legend in 2000.
It's pretty scary. Wait. Yeah, you were a little older. It's been a wonderful episode. Mike, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Last.
We've
Thank you.
had only highs on this one.
Yeah.
We've had our sky highs. We've had frozen peas.
Yeah.
We've had Kurt Russell.
Oh, did we?
Uh-huh.
We've had some Spider-Man. We've had some. There's a little bit of everything feeling
here.
like I know you well and relatively close to you. This has been fun for me to have some surprises here.
Well, good.
To talk a little bit more about the movie business.
And speaking of talking more about things, before we let you go, I would love if you would take just a minute or two and talk about your nonprofit.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah, of course. So the organization is called CAST. It's the Coalition Against Slavery and Trafficking. And what this organization does that's different than other anti-trafficking, anti-slavery organizations, they have a big advocacy. They will take people who are freed from the slavery and trafficking situation in LA and all over the country, and then they will help their lives. This is crazy to talk about because I did not expect to, but help their lives get rehabilitated and get them out. These people are also put into crazy legal situations, and so they're often needing lawyer support to like restore some sorts of sense of justice. Even if they were to get out of the situation they were in, they would need to get their records expunged for things. Yeah. So that's a big piece of that. And then they have a network of people who have been freed from slavery, and they will inform legal legislation, like legislation from state government, from federal government. And so you've got people that have really firsthand experience of being in the situation, informing what laws need to be there. So the same kind of thing that would put somebody into a precarious legal situation after being freed, we can now write laws to prevent that from happening in the future. Wow. So it's a wonderful organization. Really have enjoyed learning about, what they do and being a part of that mission. So it's called CAST.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. If our listeners want to get involved or want to support you guys in some way, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, of course. So castla.org is the website.
Cool.
And I mean, one of the things I would ask people just to learn about the issue. I think giving money is always helpful, right? And the organization could always use more money to help more people and to help future situations like this. But education and understanding that this is happening and that it's happening very close to us.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think allows the help and effort to grow.
Yeah.
If anything, check out castla.org and understand about the issue and what this organization is doing.
Yeah, we'll link that in the show notes so you can check that out.
Yeah.
Head to that
so
website
much.
to the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mike, I think on behalf of the chunks and hunk and chunkies of the world.
It gets a little confusing.
Them?
Three. Yeah.
You know them?
We're thankful for your time, for the experiences you've shared, for your heart. And to end this episode, Zack Attack has an almost worthless superpower, would you say? He glows, right? So let's find an almost equally worthless superpower to replace for Zack Attack. So you'll say your name and then finish that off. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Carter, and I think someone that can just kind of smell however they want.
Okay.
I think that could be another Zack Attack power. They could smell now because there might be some use there, right? It's like we need to get a bunch of these people out of here. Can you smell like gasoline, or something like that? And then the crowd gets out, right? You can clear a room.
I'm Doge, and the superpower I'd like to pitch for Zack Attack 2, the new and improved Zack Attack, would be that he has what we would call silly putty skin, which means he can press onto a piece of paper and then hold up his hand, and it's imprinted on his hand. And he can print that onto another piece of paper. So
there's some use there.
He's like a Xerox boy. So like we can kind of forge documents with him or do other things that are probably better than that.
But only like pretty small.
But only like very small and very bad.
Yeah. Right.
His name is Putty Buddy.
Right.
Oh,
sure it is.
Goodness.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jordan, and my power, I think, would be to teleport back to the most recently used bathroom in my life. Not a bathroom of choice, just whatever bathroom I last used. And so you'd think,
what's the one you're going to, no.
Well, I would sort of default to home, but then, if I'm at work and I teleport to that bathroom, my car's at work still.
Right.
Is it like a ghost, like returning you have unfinished business?
And the unfinished business is pee-pee.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be great is when we watch you in this movie drink a lot of water and then all of a sudden realize you need to be somewhere, but you also have to pee. And so you can't use the next restroom because you need your power to go back to the place, but it's not time to go, but you have to hold, like, to see that pain and to feel that.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going?
It's like a heist movie, but for the bladder.
Yeah.
And the
there's
stakes
some
are
new,
very high.
there's some new gravitas to like marking your territory. Like you're literally marking, like you're planting a flag.
Bathroom?
Yes. I'm thinking wherever it happens.
That's a great word.
This power just got good.
We're blowing the lid off of this
Maybe
thing
you
here.
didn't realize
Maybe
you didn't realize you peed a little bit on yourself, and now you're in your closet with your pants.
You teleport to
because that's the last place you use the bathroom.
Amazing. Love it. Okay, so my useless power would be to write really poignantly, but not be able to spell anything. So it would just never get read. Oh no! Just hey, there's a lot of truth, but just
clean this up for us. Just clean this up for us.
Get it out of here.
It's like a C-list version of Rogue from X-Men. It's like I have all this, but if I touch you, it's gonna hurt. Like I can't really use it very much.
Yes,
that's amazing. Well, from Tao Chong and I'm trying to do like if he wrote our title.
Oh, okay.
Before you finish, let me just say thanks. This is a blast. It's fun to go down memory lane, and it's fun to share some old stories that I think I will be more thankful for my experience after today. And then just, you guys are awesome. So
yeah.
thank you.
Well, you're natural.
Thank
If any of us just gives up the game, expect a call soon.
Yeah.
Too big of a deal. Okay.